South Africa and India have quite an old connection. Have you visited India before? How would you?
I would love to visit.
Yes, you're most welcome. You must visit. It's a wonderful
Thank you.
place. Yes, wonderful place to visit. Hello and welcome to WGF iTalks. Today I am in talk with Ndaba Mandela from South Africa. Ndaba is an author, mentor, spokesperson, entrepreneur, political consultant, the grandson of Nelson Mandela, and above all, a formidable force that is inspiring and bringing together the youth of the world towards his several endeavors to spread positivity in the world. He is founder and chairman of several institutes and foundations, some of which we would talk about during our conversation. To name a few, Ndaba Mandela is the co-founder and chairman of the Mandela Institute of Humanity. He has passionately introduced Nelson Mandela to the youth worldwide. He has also spread the positivities of South Africa and the entire African continent throughout the globe. He is the co-founder and co-chairman of Africa Rising Foundation. He is also the founder of the Mandela Project. He is a member of the Pan-African Youth Council, which works closely with the African Union. He is the longest serving global ambassador for UNAIDS, a specialized agency of the United Nations that campaigns to end the HIV/AIDS epidemic. I can go on, but we would like to hear it all from the man himself, Ndaba Mandela. Hi, Ndaba. How are you?
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very fine. Thank you. Allow me to jump to the questions straight. I would try to explore for our viewers several aspects of your professional and personal life. First of all, please tell us about yourself in your own words for our viewers.
Hi, my name is Ndaba Mandela. I am the chairman of the Africa Rising Foundation here in South Africa, and we are geared towards changing the narrative on Africa. But more importantly, we want to empower young people to be at the forefront of Africa's developed countries. We are tired of multinational corporations coming to Africa and taking out all the value. We want our own people to be at the forefront so that they can be able to reap the benefits of the economic development.
Great. Your growth as a great human being and a great leader must have been influenced by your grandfather. How do you remember him? What were his best teachings?
Well, I remember him as a very fair grandfather. He had a great sense of humor, and he loved children very much. You know, if he was having a meeting and a child came inside the room, he would stop and focus on that child, you know, because for him, children represent hope and they represent new beginnings. And as you can imagine, all those times he spent in Robben Island, 27 years, we asked him, what is the one thing that you missed? And he said the one thing he missed when he was in Robben Island was the sound of children. Yes. And so it was a systematic way to break them down, to let them know that they have no hope and that they would die on the island. But as you know, the old man always kept hope alive. He was very passionate about his people. He was very passionate about youth. You know that he wanted to actually lower the voting age of South Africa to 16.
Yes.
Because he felt that young people also know who their leaders should be, but more importantly, that they can choose their own leaders from as young as 16. But unfortunately, it wasn't as successful in that campaign. The other thing he believed in was he believed that Africa should be led by African people. And he felt that the current crop of leaders were very stuck to the position of power, and they did not ever want to let go of the position of power when they become president. And so he decided that he would only take one term as president to try and influence other presidents around the continent. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to succeed because, as you know, many presidents, they really stuck to power and have difficulty in going to elections and voting and moving on after their 2 terms.
Right, yeah.
Yes. And I would say that he was also a traditional man. He enjoyed his traditional food. He loved going to the village and spending time with the elders and his peers in the village. He would always tell me about how many cows are there on the farm. I must go and count the cows.
Oh, so nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, he was just a man who really loved his people and wanted us to be able to become leaders in the same light, because he said people of privilege have the obligation and the responsibility to take care of those who couldn't take care of themselves.
That's right. Absolutely. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And now my next question is, you know, you have written the book, Going to the Mountain, Life Lessons from My Grandfather, Nelson Mandela. How did you come to write this fascinating book, which every passionate person must read? And please tell us what all does the book contain?
Okay, so one of the main reasons I wrote this book was to celebrate the 100 years of Nelson Mandela, which was celebrated in 2018.
Okay.
Now, I wanted young people to be able to engage with Nelson Mandela, not from a perspective of being a president or being a revolutionary, but from a perspective of being a grandfather, because, you know, for young kids, they can't relate to being a president or a revolutionary, but they can all relate to a grandparent, because most kids have grandparents.
Absolutely.
Grandmother or grandfather. So I wrote about him in the book purely from a presence of being a grandfather. You know, when I was 11 years old, he sent his bodyguard driver to come and fetch me when I was living in Soweto. Soweto is a very poor area. It's like a ghetto.
Okay.
And so he came to fetch me, and I went to stay with him in the leafy white suburbs of Johannesburg.
Oh.
And he sent my parents to university, and he told my father that he doesn't want my father to worry about me. He wanted him to focus on his books so that he would then take care of me while my father was at school.
Wonderful.
And so what I wanted young people to understand in this book is, of course, firstly, the relationship that I had with my grandfather, but also the teachings and the lessons that he gave me as a young people. And I wanted to share those lessons with other young people.
Great.
One of the greatest lessons my grandfather taught me is that to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that enhances and protects the freedom of others.
Super.
Also, equally important that he taught me is that no one is born hating another person because of their skin color. If a person can be taught to hate, then a person can be taught to love, because love comes much more natural to the human condition than hate.
Definitely, yes. So nice.
And one more thing I want to say to the young people is that you must never live a life that you know you are less than capable of living. So do not accept you taking option B or second best. You must always strive to do your best at all times, and to live the life that you know that you are capable of living.
Very nice. Thank you so much. How do you wish the Mandela legacy to continue?
Well, I think my grandfather's legacy is obviously one of freedom, obviously one of giving dignity and respect to people of color around the world, but also of empowering people through education. Okay. So I would like the Mandela legacy to continue living through young people, and us being able to engage with young people and showing them what leadership truly is. What does it look like? What does it sound like? Great. And so we want to be able to inspire young people to lead like Nelson Mandela. Wow. Whether they're in their home, whether they're in their office, whether in their community, we want them to take those principles that they learned from Nelson Mandela and to be able to apply them in their own community.
Thanks, Ndaba. You are the founder and chairman of Africa Rising Foundation. So please tell us something about Africa Rising Foundation.
So Africa Rising Foundation was started in 2010 with my cousin Kweku, and our focus was to make sure that young people have the tools they need in order to empower themselves and to be able to break the cycle of poverty that exists.
Okay.
And so we decided to focus in the rural areas, the really poor areas, and the villages and in the farms, where young people do not have access to career guidance, do not have access to computers, do not have access to sports equipment and recreational equipment that they can use during their spare time. So what we did, we started off by using Mandela Day, International Mandela Day being on the 18th of July. And what we'd do, we'd go to the village and we'd go and do a huge activation with sports teams. You know, they'll bring soccer balls, they'll bring soccer kits. We'll also organize for them to be able to learn different computer skills. And we're also partnered with the government so that we can teach them about the importance of doing household farming, farming vegetables at home. You know, as you can imagine, the stress is increasing for young people and poor families to be able to afford food. So we say that at least if you can farm your vegetables at home, and then what you can't farm at home, you can buy from the shop. So we try to do a competition with young people to see who could grow the best crops. And then those young people will be able to get full support from a professional farmer, and also just to be able to go to Sun City where they could have fun for the weekend. Oh, wow. Really nice. Thank you. So these are some of the programs for Africa Rising. Okay, thank you. Youth all over the world consider you as their role model. Your ideas, your passion, and your endeavors inspire everyone. What do you think the youth must focus on to create a better world? Well, firstly, we are in a world now that we are being faced with the COVID epidemic. So the first thing young people need to know and understand is that they need to look after their health. Because if you are not healthy, there's nothing you can really do in the world. So the first thing is to make sure you have good health. So after that, once you have decided what is your passion, which kind of people you want to help, your next job would be to then go to those people that you want to help and learn from them and understand what are their challenges. You cannot go and help people without understanding what their challenges are. Right. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen more than we talk. Right. True. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. Right? Yes. So young people need to go out there and work with their teachers, work with their parents if they're a little bit too scared, and go and find out what are the challenges and be able to build the solutions together with the people that are suffering. Right, Ndaba. Thank you. And it's important to have a mentor, somebody who can give you guidance, someone that's older than you, has more experience, somebody that wants to see you win. And so whenever things get difficult and get tough, you have them as support and who can be able to give you more inspiration to continue doing your work. Right, right. Yes. Thanks. South Africa and India have quite an old connection. Have you visited India before? How would you? I would love to visit. Yes, you're most welcome. You must visit. It's a wonderful place. Yes, wonderful place to visit. Yeah. How would you like South Africa and India to work together? Yes, please. One of the things I know our countries can really work together is when it comes to technology and information. Okay. Okay. India have one of the most advanced technical specialists when it comes to technology in the world. Currently, and so there's lots we can learn from India in terms of how we can make our young people get used to technology, but also work in technology in their work, whether it's farming, whether it's sports, whatever ideas and industries that young people should work in, I believe there could be a great connection there. Oh, great. Yes. It's yes, and I believe young people in India want the same thing as young people in Africa, because we all want our interests to be represented in parliament, but most of the time we realize that the interests that are represented in parliament are not those of young people.
Right.
So it is important for young people, both in India and Africa, to also want to get into those leadership positions in government so that they can look after our interests. You know, we cannot all run away from politics. Some of us need to go into the political realm so that our interests can be looked after.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Your association with Generation Hip Hop Global has motivated thousands of youth and has helped them improve theirs and others' lives with the help of music. Please tell us about Generation Hip Hop Global.
Generation Hip Hop Global is an organization that was born out of an association with a company called Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Okay.
The Universal Hip Hop Museum, they are there to really remind people about the history of hip hop and how it came what it is today.
Okay.
So when we formed our organization was really the youth component of the Universal Hip Hop Museum, but we later became an independent organization.
Okay.
Our organization now works with grassroots people from around the world in over 69 countries to use the hip hop culture. So when it comes to hip hop culture, we're talking about the music of rapping. We talk about making the beats. We talk about the DJs. We talk about the breakdancing. We talk about the graffiti. We talk about the knowledge that you get from the books. So we want young people to use these 5 elements of hip hop to come up with community projects that they themselves can run, lead, and implement in their music through the spirit of hip hop. The spirit of hip hop represents peace, love, and unity.
Wow.
And through young people being able to express themselves through music and dance, we believe that will inspire young people to work together and also to get the rest of the community behind them so that they can create sustainable projects that will again go towards breaking the cycle of poverty.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. What are the best things about Africa? And how do you want the world to know the changing Africa today?
Well, we all know that Africa has a lot of minerals and resources. We all know that Africa has some of the most beautiful land and beaches in the world. But the best thing about Africa is really its people. The people, the culture, the music, the celebration, the diversity, the fashion, right?
Yes.
That the people come up with. And really, the most important thing that you need to engage with when you come to Africa is really the people and understanding its culture and how you can, you know, be inspired by some of the struggles that African people have gone through. But even though we are poor, even though we have gone through hard times and struggle, we always keep a smile because we always want to come together.
That's true. Yes, yes. That's so nice of you guys, really so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any specific idea about the developments of A, the modern African society and economy, and B, the modern global society and economy? Please share with us.
Okay, well, I mean, I think the most important aspects of the African economy is really one where we are not governed by the borders that have been that have been drawn up by America. You know, one of the biggest issues that we have right now is, of course, the drain brain. You know, most of our smart people from Africa, they go to study in Harvard, they go study overseas, and they never come back.
Yeah.
So we are trying to say our people need to be in touch with those who are living in the diaspora, so that we can continue working together from Africa and to across the world. But more importantly, our young people need to actually come back home and create jobs.
Yeah.
You can't come back home and say you're looking for a job because you have the added advantage by having a degree or a certificate from schools like Harvard, Yale, etc. So really the development of the future of the economy of Africa, for me, depends on the ability of our people being able to work together across the different borders. And as far as the global economy is concerned, one of the issues that we've seen is that the Western countries really are the ones who are united and are the ones who are, basically describing the political arena. And so we as Africans need to be able to come together and have one united voice. Just as India have become a great nation to deal with that they cannot ignore anymore. Just like China is a great nation that people cannot ignore. So many people who are not represented need to come together and form a huge force so that we can all have equal voices when it comes to the global arena. Otherwise, we will continue to be dictated to by the Western powers, only their interests being followed at the detriment of the rest of the world. So I believe unity is the way to go.
Sure. Thanks. What are your future plans for the current year and the current decade?
This year, I'm really focused on financial freedom. Obviously, as you can imagine, our organizations rely a lot on donations and rely a lot going to be able to raise funds to be able to do our work.
Right.
So this year we are focusing on creating partnerships where we can create revenues that can come in, and so that we can gain more independence and be able to drive our programs out there.
Lovely.
And for the next 10 years, really, once we have financial stability, our goal would then to be to create African unity, not just in Africa, but across the world, for our people to be able to create platforms for each other where they can discuss business, where they can discuss industries, where they can discuss all their different initiatives that they want to be able to implement on the ground. It's about creating platforms where people can come together and discuss all their hopes and dreams so that we can be able to find ways in order to pursue our dreams to make them a reality.
Wonderful. Very nice. And maybe, towards the end, please share your message for the youth and people in general worldwide.
I'd like to tell the youth right now, the first important thing is your health. Keep up your health. Take care of yourself. You are not immune to COVID. COVID is here, ladies and gentlemen. Number two, you are not a victim. Take control of your life. You cannot walk around saying, oh my, oh this, oh that. No, it is time we take up the rights to come together and to change the system in order for the system to look after our needs.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no mother or father that's going to come and help you. The only way we can win is if we come together and work together to implement the changes that we want to see in order for the world to become a better place. It is in our hands, ladies and gentlemen, to make this world a better place. So let us come together, work together, and grow together to make this world a better place.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Ndaba, I must confess, I had goosebumps, talking to you. World Growth Forums has been working towards creating a better world with several global leaders for the past few years now. However, what you have been doing independently and through the Mandela Legacy on the world stage is highly motivating and impressive. Personally, I and the entire team of World Growth Forums wish you the best in life and in all your endeavors. It was really nice knowing you more closely and listening to your thoughts and experiences. You are a true nation builder. You are an icon of South Africa, and the world is really grateful for all your outstanding initiatives and endeavors. Thank you very much for talking to World Growth Forums and talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Yeah, good day. Bye.